This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball on the banks of the mighty Mississippi. A beautiful day. It's game number 2. The New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals. Erica Weston is here. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us here at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. The Cardinals come up short in game number 1. Turn the page. Miles Mikolas going here this afternoon. In the lineup, the Cardinals center fielder Dexter Fowler on a roll, trying to make it a 9-game hitting streak here this afternoon. And Jimmy, what have you seen out of Dexter?
I mean, Dexter has come into spring training this year with a new attitude, positive look on life, and he is turning it around. You see right here in the last 8 games, he's hitting .414, and he's really turned it up a notch. He's quieted down at the plate. He's been taking a lot of good pitches for balls, and he's been hitting the strikes hard. And this is the Dexter Fowler I think that they knew that they were going to get. And you see right here the batting average is just climbing over the last 6 or 7 days. So Dexter's on a roll.
Multi-hit games in 4 of the last 5 for Dexter Fowler. In right field, Jose Martinez. Big night in game 1. Jim Hayes and the gang over the studio. Talk about that when we come back. Beautiful day for baseball as Miles Mikolas tries to pick up win number 2. The Mets are here. Mikolas and the Cardinals coming up next. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Steak and Shake. Get 4 meals with 4 items for $4. 4 for $4. Get more for 4 only at Steak and Shake. What a gorgeous day here in the Gateway City. Game number 2. The 3-game weekend series, the Mets and Cardinals. Erica Weston, Jim Edmonds, Dan McLaughlin with you. 63 degrees. We understand getting warmer throughout the day and maybe even hitting 80 tomorrow on Easter Sunday as Miles Mikolas will get the start for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he's trying to improve to 2-1 in the young 2019 campaign. His record sits at 1-1. ERA is an even 6. The 5 walks, a little bit surprising for a guy that really, Jimmy, controls the strike zone. Yeah, the walks really don't stand out, even though we know that he doesn't walk a lot of guys. I think as you see the Hyundai pitch arsenal, 50% with the fastball, slider 24, curveball and changeup. But I think what I noticed that stuck out to me a little bit in that stat sheet was the home runs. And then it has trouble this year a little bit getting first pitch strikes that he didn't have trouble with last year. Not really trouble, but just not the overwhelming number that was last year. Brandon Nimmo at the top. Some lefties that he'll have to navigate in this lineup. He's struggled with lefties this year. Pete Alonso, Robinson Cano, big night in game 1. Michael Conforto, Wilson Ramos, Jeff McNeil, Ahmed Rosario, J.D. Davis, and Chris Flexen. He'll be the starter for the Mets today as the Mets are without Jacob deGrom, who was supposed to go last night, then pushed back to today. And now we won't see him in the entire weekend series. Our key to the game presented by Toyota. Yeah, just what we were talking about, strikes for Miles. I think that his first pitch strike total this year has been down compared to last year, and just overall the amount of strikes that he's thrown compared to percentage-wise to last year is off. So I think that's one thing that has been standing out and something that he'll try to improve on. That makes a big difference when you start off 0-1 versus 1-0. Here's Nimmo, the center fielder, to lead it off. 3 homers. He's driven in 8 so far this season and batting .241. And the first pitch by Mikolas, a strike, and we're underway. A first pitch strike. It's Juan Lagares in center field last night. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
I think another key for Miles today is to be able to pitch in. Something I don't think Adam did very well last night. I think the Mets hitters were leaning out over the plate all night long last night.
Just the threat of pitching in, something that Michael Wacha did in his start against Christian Yelich. The first couple of at-bats, first pitch was up and in by design, and it really did set up everything else in the at-bat.
Well, I think you have to make good hitters think that you're going to challenge them inside, even if you are throwing the ball in there more than necessary.
There's a strikeout to start this afternoon for Michaelis.
And the more you pound inside, the more times you're going to get pitches like this where they're looking in, thinking you're going to throw in, and then freeze. As soon as your eyes start to wander and start to guess inside, it locks everything else up when it's not there, and that's just what pitching is all about.
And it brings in Pete Alonso, 7 home runs. Folks still talking about the line drive home run that he hit last night. That was impressive, partner.
Yeah, he hit a line drive halfway up the grass.
Wow.
I don't know if I've ever seen a ball hit like that on a line and get that far up that grass.
He had 37 home runs combined last year. AA and AAA. Organization's Player of the Year. And now the everyday first baseman. Popped up. And Michaelis with the catch. There's 2 away. Cardinal defense around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Ozuna in left, Fowler in center, and Jose Martinez in right. Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Goldschmidt along the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Here's Robinson Cano. You were in the Mets clubhouse today, and Robinson Cano said, Mr. Edmonds, can I have an autograph and a picture, please?
No, I was on the field, actually,
okay.
but I went down there to say hello to Chili Davis and introduce him to my son. And Robinson walked over and said, how you doing? Big fan. And it was awesome because I wanted Landon to meet him. And there's my man Chili right there. Chili took good care of me when I was with the Angels. And he said, can I take a picture with you? And I was kind of caught off guard. That guy right there, though, he went above and beyond for me when I was young with the Angels.
Good pitch. In what ways did he help you out?
Everything, hitting, off the field, just being how to be a professional. Take a look at that slider. Just trying to teach you to grow up. I mean, it's really, I think it is tough, you know, in the first couple years, and just kid coming out of the minor leagues, and there's a lot of things to learn, just how to be a professional day in and day out.
The 1-2 pulled foul. Robinson Cano now in his 15th Major League Baseball season. 9 years Yankees, then he went to Seattle, and now his first with the Mets. He signed through 2023 with that huge contract from the Mariners. The 1-2 pitch, and he lines it sharply to Wong. Soft hands on the pick. The throw to Goldschmidt for the out. Cano running up the line with the bat in his hands. 1-2-3. There's a look at the 2 hitters at the top of the lineup for the Cardinals. You see a ton of pitches. Matt Carpenter, Paul Goldschmidt. Then it's DeYoung, Ozuna, Martinez, Molina. The switch hitting Dexter Fowler, Colton Wong, and Miles Michaelis. This is Chris Flexen. 2 starts in the minors this month. He allowed 7 earned in 12 innings. Struck out 18, walked only 3. He does have big league experience, not much. And he's filling in for Jacob deGrom. The news, by the way, and there's the Hyundai pitch arsenal on Flexen, last year's numbers. News on deGrom is pretty good. You know, there was so much concern with the elbow going back to get it examined on Monday in New York, but he actually played catch and felt good. And he said to Mickey Callaway he thought that maybe the issue was the fact that he had not been throwing, dealt with strep throat, and was pushed back, not having the normal routine of a bullpen and playing catch. And he felt good today, so that's good news for the Mets.
Yeah, you can tighten up if you take a couple days off out there. If you don't throw, run, do things that you normally do day in and day out. And it's funny what a couple days off of just no baseball activity can do to the parts of your body that are used to going every day.
Say it all the time, creatures of habit. I mean, guys get in a routine, and it's a routine for 7 months every single day. 1-1 the count on Matt Carpenter. And lifts a high fly ball out to left, and Jeff McNeil there for the catch. Mets defense, McNeil in left, Nimmo in center, Conforto in right. Davis, Rosario, Cano, Alonso along the infield, Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. It's a Mets team that is without Yoenis Cespedes in left field. He had surgery on both heels, and they're expecting him at some point to come back. They just don't know when. Could be July, maybe August.
That doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun.
No. He had the surgeries 3 months apart just so that he'd be able to walk, not have it at the same time, and be able to get around. 1 ball, 1 strike on Goldschmidt with 7 home runs. And a high fly ball into center. Brandon Nimmo 2 away. Big crowd here this afternoon at Busch Stadium on a gorgeous afternoon. And a lot of the baby blue jerseys are out. That was the giveaway today. This is game 1 of what could be a fun day in St. Louis. A doubleheader with Blues hockey coming up later tonight. Here's Paul DeYoung. Was hitless yesterday, went 0 for 4, but yet DeYoung against the Mets. He's played in 14 games in his young career, a .351 average, and .500 here at home against New York with 10 extra base hits.
It's funny how you just have one team's number. No rhyme, no reason, just do well against a certain team, especially like the Mets. You don't even play them that often, just happen to be one of those things.
And the 2-0 pitch. Mike Schild in his office today asked about the Blues. He grew up in Carolina, so not a lot of hockey there when he was a young man, and he said, well, I'm excited to see the Blues clinch tonight. Not if, but when. And he said he took in his first NHL game this offseason as DeYoung swinging on 3-0. It's popped up on the infield, and the catch is made by J.D. Davis. That is a big league pop-up. Cardinals go 1-2-3. Second inning rolls in when we come back. Well, this is fun to see last night. First ever Major League plate appearance and a home run. Had to be reviewed. Curtain call. Lane Thomas. More on that. Let's check in with Erica.
Thank you, Danny. Well, Blaine Thomas saying last night that's exactly what you thought about in your first Major League at bat growing up as a kid, except you end up winning the game. But I asked him how he was able to stay grounded, stay steady in that moment. He said, well, he got on deck in Milwaukee. He had a chance to take an at-bat, but of course he didn't get an at-bat. He stayed on deck, so his heart was racing, so he knew what the feeling was going to be like. But it was high praise from Adam Wainwright after the game last night, who said he saw him in his rehab outings last year in Florida, saying he's a professional hitter. We're going to see a lot of them. That was incredible coming from Adam Wainwright. He said he's such a genuine guy. To have an open and genuine conversations from Adam Wainwright, it means so much to them. But I asked Lane, what kind of players did you sort of emulate your game as of when you were a kid? And he said his mom was from Denver, so he grew up watching a lot of Todd Helton. So he watched a lot of him, even though he's a lefty, he's a righty. But right now it's all about Mike Trout. He said some of the stuff they do now I could never imagine, but you kind of push for those things, guys.
Absolutely. Talking with Lane in the clubhouse. He loved Todd Helton, and he's from Knoxville, Tennessee. And there's a strikeout, number 2 today. That one of Michael Conforto, and it brings in Wilson Ramos. And Todd Helton, many know, was a great baseball player at Tennessee, the backup QB to Peyton Manning. And so because of that affiliation, and then Helton being a Rocky and his mom being from the Denver area, he said, I always grew up idolizing Todd Helton. And he was offered a baseball scholarship, he told me, to play at Missouri State, and elected obviously not to do that. Then eventually drafted, and here he is. He said, you get any sleep last night? He said, I got to be honest, Dan, not a lot. He said, I've been trying to answer texts.
Oh, yeah.
And so many. I said, how many did you get? He goes, well, probably over 200 now. And that's how the game's changed a little bit.
A lot.
Miles looks sharp. There's another strikeout. Back to back. He's seen 5 and struck out 3.
Throw a lot of fastballs in, even to the guys in front of him, and you get the guys start looking for the fastball in, and you see what happens when you go away, just buying pitches. So set everyone up by starting off in to everyone, and then you start to open up that outer edge.
All 3 have been called looking on those strikeouts. Here's Jeff McNeil. He was 6th in the Rookie of the Year, the National League, last year. Well, this graphic is very telling. So last year, 71% of the time, first pitch strikes. That's down to 63 this year. But say it all the time, Jimmy, the most important pitch is that first pitch strike.
Well, look at the second column right there. First of 2 was 92%. So you're not getting, I mean, there was a point in last year, I think we were halfway through. We hadn't really been too many 3-ball counts, and that just makes it so much easier on you. You got pitches to work with, and you're never really have to throw the ball over the plate, not far behind. You're not always behind, and it's just, it makes such a huge difference in pitching.
He's had 3 of 6 first pitch strikes to start today. McNeil hitting .391. And it's 3-2. He could play third. He's playing left today. And Todd Frazier is slowly coming back. Started this year on the disabled list. So Davis and McNeil getting more playing time beginning of the year for the Mets. And he yanks that one foul. Miles Michaelis this year on a full count has only given up 2 hits, but has walked 3. And remember, he only walked 29 total a year ago. That's it. The 3-2 pitch, and he walked him. So a 2-out walk issued by Michaelis. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand, MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Walk to McNeil, and here's Rosario batting .260. Had the pleasure of being over at the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum today. Our buddy Brian Finch runs that side of things over there across the street. And you know, Jimmy, I'm in the Cardinals Hall of Fame. I don't know if you knew that. My scorecard is.
Got to get there somehow.
That's how I'm going to get there.
Take your time. You're still working. You can't.
Well, my scorecard's going over there.
You can't
That's
be in the Hall
only
of Fame
thing.
and still be working.
So we had a presentation about the 10,000th win the Cardinals had last year, and my scorecard is on display from that evening. It was very, very fun to visit with all the fans. Had a sold-out crowd, and Brian Finch, if you get a chance to head over to the museum, he's there every day. Go over and say hello. He'll give you the private tour too. I know he's done that a couple of times for you, and
It is
some
fun.
of your memorabilia over there.
It is fun to go in there and look around. I think people think they're going to go in there and kind of sneak through, and you end up staying in there for hours.
Absolutely. There's over 22,000 pieces of memorabilia that the DeWitt family and the Cardinals have collected. And outside of what you see at Cooperstown, it's the biggest collection of baseball memorabilia you will find in the world.
That's even more impressive. I think it's their collection.
DeYoung. Wow, what a play. On the backhand and the strong throw from Paul DeYoung. The soft hands on the backhand. Then he settles and throws a strike. Nicely done. Well, if you can't catch a game on television, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals presented by T-Mobile. Here's Marcell Ozuna. 273, the 8 home runs to lead the club, and he's driven in 16.
Quite a contrast today from yesterday. Pitching style of the starter for the Mets. This guy all fastballs. Last night a lot of changeups from a lefty.
At any point in the count too, as you mentioned.
2-0 changeups, 3-1 changeups. Flexen just coming straight forward.
Flexen made his major league debut in late July of 2017. 14th round pick by the Mets in 2012 from Newark, California, which is a town between about halfway between San Francisco and San Jose. Left center. And the catch made by Nimmo. So 4 up and 4 down. And the batter will be Jose Martinez. Really felt, though, last night, it's one of those games that if you're Mike Schild, that one stings. You know?
I'd like to, yeah, you want to win that game. I think you look back at the errors and the missed opportunities, and you easily could have probably kept 2 or 3 runs off the board, and you could have easily scored 2 out of the 3 opportunities. I think you had a guy on third with 1 out twice and maybe no outs 1 time. So, yeah, he definitely had a chance.
Jose Martinez connected with his first home run. It was into right center on a cold night here at Busch. Average now at 302. And rising. All he does is hit. I was talking with the Mets broadcasters, and Keith Hernandez and Gary Cohen specifically, and they were asking me about Martinez. And they said, well, you know, he might have been able to catch that ball in right, and we saw him last year at first base. You know, there may have been some issues. And I said, yeah, he had some issues defensively. And then all of us at the same time said, but man, can this guy hit.
He just picked that curveball almost off the ground right there and served it in the center.
Here's Yadier Molina. Average at 225, 1 home run. And he's driven in 9. This today, number 207 in terms of starts for Jose Martinez. As a starter, average at 306. And what's interesting, if you start to break down the numbers even further, so 306 and 206 starts the average. If you compare that to other players since that time with 800 or more at bats as a starter, you know, he's playing at an elite level. It's just the question is, where can he play every day? Because the man can flat out hit. Here's the 0-2. Base hit into right. Martinez will stop at second base. On an 0-2 pitch, Molina the base hit. And it brings in Dexter Fowler.
Good piece of hitting by Yachty right here. Trying to do too much, just staying down on the ball. Mistake, I think, right there by Flexen, throwing the ball right down the middle, basically 0-2.
Talked about Dexter Fowler in our open. The last time he had a hitting streak of this long, 8 games or longer, it was a long time ago, September of 2015. He is now 9 for his last 18, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. And the 1-0 pitch. Mike Schilt asked about Fowler. He said, really, there's a few things going on, but one right now is pitch recognition and getting his understanding of the strike zone. Not swinging at pitches out of the zone. And then the third thing that he talked about was his balance at the plate. He said when you start to get better balance at the plate, and he said he's not all the way there yet. It's a work in progress, but those 3 things, pitch recognition, the understanding of the strike zone, and just better mechanics, the balance at the plate, he said this is the guy we expect him to be. The 1-2 slowly hit right side, and Cano, what a play with the bare hand. How smooth is that?
I'm telling you what, he is as good as it gets at second base.
Man.
Effortless. Reminds me a little bit of a bigger version of Robbie Alomar. Just does everything. Runs the bases. Decent. Robbie was amazing. Alomar. But the how smooth he is on defense and how smooth he is on swinging the bat is just some kind of athlete.
Intentionally pass Colton Wong, so load him up for Miles Michaelis. I love it when Cano turns a double play. There is, you know, and he slings it, Jimmy, and when Cano does that at second base, and I mean bang bang plays, he's never in a rush.
Just like, oh shucks, let me just throw it on over there, no big deal.
And just a bullet coming the other way. It's big league baseball, man, and he is some kind of player.
Was watching Ozzie in spring training a couple years ago, turning double plays with the guys and throwing the ball to first without looking.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that reminds me of what Robinson does.
Ball gets through. Martinez coming home, and he'll score. Boy, initially Jose was either stationary or going back to the bag at third. Regardless, it's a 1-0 lead.
Took a cutter right there. He just whiffed it.
Be a pass ball. So 1-0 Cardinals. Here's Michaelis, a couple of home runs in his career. He's driven in 6. And the 1-1. You know, the Cardinals score on that pass ball, and I also think about the ground ball that last night Carpenter did not score on that ball that was slowly hit by the pitcher's mound. That was another opportunity. So missed last night, but so far so good today. Up the middle, base hit. One run is in. Here comes another. 3-0 St. Louis. Michaelis drives in 2.
Miles is a pretty good hitter right here, but you can see this breaking ball, just nothing breaking ball right here. And that's the one thing you can't do in the big leagues is just throw a nothing breaking ball with 2 strikes and the wrong guys at second base. No chance to throw Wong out right there, and Miles with nice 2 RBI single. Help yourself.
And a 3-0 Cardinal lead. Now Carpenter. 3 infielders on the right side. Matt fly to left, first time up, 0 for 1. How about this crowd? It is filled in even more from 5-10 minutes ago. It is a big crowd here at Busch Stadium.
A lot of Easter egg blue going on down there. I love it when you give away something like a shirt or something and everybody's got it on. It's so cool. It's like when you see the playoffs in the NHL and the whole place is either white or blue or red or whatever it is. It's kind of cool that everyone gets involved.
It's a 2-0 pitch now to Carpenter. 2-1. So 1 swing of the bat, he tied a career high. Michaelis with those 2 RBI in a game, and 3rd time he's done that. 2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. Carpenter is sitting on 3 home runs. He was trying to make it 4. He knew that was coming too. 3-2 the count. So Michaelis off with this next pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. With 2 strikes, more of an exaggerated shift. Fouled back. Carpenter bunted against the shift last night. I think more and more you're going to see younger players in the minor leagues do that because they're seeing it from day one in pro baseball, where a guy like Carpenter was straight up when he got to the league.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really a good sign of things to come last night, and didn't work out as well as I thought, but I think that's a great idea right there, especially leading off the game. Bryce Harper did it last night.
That's right. Pitch number 24 of the inning coming, and it's taken low.
Good at bat.
2 walks in the inning, one of those intentional. Arcia drive to success. Situational hitting this season. Leading off an inning, the Cardinals first in baseball. Runners on, 23rd. Runners in scoring position, 229. Arcia drive to success. That was the key of the game last night, situational hitting. Here's Goldschmidt with 2 runners on. And a ball outside. He fly to deep center. First time up. Talking with Paul on the road trip. Said he and his family really enjoy St. Louis already, getting settled in. Love the town outside of baseball. He said there are parts of St. Louis that really, outside of the weather, remind me of Arizona. You know, just going to different parts of the town and what it has to offer. He said it's been a lot of fun for he and his family, and he loves it.
Outside of the weather.
A little warmer in Arizona.
Yeah.
The 2-0 hits it the other way, and the catch is made. That's Conforto in right. Cardinals strand a pair, but they pick up 3. A pass ball And then Miles Michaelis, a single that brings in 2. Now time for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Christian Yelich, 11th home run last night. That ties teammate Eric Thames' franchise record for most home runs in March or April, and still 10 games left on the April schedule after today. Dodgers 6 straight wins. Rockies with 5. Pirates and Cubs 4 straight wins each. 11 of the 15 National League teams are 500 or better before play today. Adam Ottavino, number 0, faced number 0 Frank Gore of Kansas City. First time that's ever happened in baseball history.
But 2 zeros faced off against each other.
Just a 0, man.
Just a 0 situation.
Ottavino, the former Cardinal, he was a starter when he was in St. Louis and then found a home and became dominant in a bullpen. Yankees signed him in the offseason. And away we go for inning number 3. 3-0 Cardinals. Slowly hit. Miles Michaelis steps and throws a strike for the out. J.D. Davis retired. Here's Chris Flexen. Flexen weighed in at 250 pounds last year, so this offseason he dropped 30 pounds, called it a career check. I've had long conversations with Matt Carpenter about that. When he was in college, he got brought in, TCU, 5-year player. Jim Schlossnagel, the head coach at TCU, said, and Matt was highly recruited coming out of high school, and he said very much a heart-to-heart, tough conversation of, you are a better player than what you're showing here at TCU, and it's up to you to be the kind of player you can be. And Matt went out and dropped 50 or 55 pounds, and it allows him to range to his left and make plays like that. So that conversation changed his career. And here he is, a rich man playing Major League Baseball. Come see the Cardinals take on the Reds. That's April 27th. That day, 30,000 fans, 16 and older, take home a cozy stadium sweatshirt blanket. You can cuddle in that blanket, the promo says. Cardinals.com/promotions. My goodness. What are you laughing at, Jimmy? Here's Brandon Nimmo, who struck out looking his first time up.
Martinez was enjoying himself in that promo.
I was there when he did that, and believe me, he was
red hair and all.
Carlos had 30 pitches today, higher intensity in a bullpen session. Up next for him, if everything checks out okay, come to the ballpark tomorrow, see how he feels. Will be a live BP next. Head to Jupiter, extended spring. And time and again, Mike Schilt was asked, well, does that mean he goes in the rotation or the bullpen? And didn't want to commit one way or another, but
see how it goes.
Yeah, he said, let's just get him healthy. That's pulled foul. I think ideally Mike Maddox would love to see him in the bullpen. I think they like the way that he comes to compete at the ballpark every day. His stuff plays in late innings, and being able to use him day after day potentially. Something that Mike was asked about when Carlos was healthy early in spring, and he said, I'd love him in the bullpen. I do too. It's a weapon.
Doesn't have to pace himself. Can let it fly.
But the question right now is trying to get your starters to go deeper into games. 19 games into the season, Cardinals still waiting for a starter to record a 7th inning out.
It's unbelievable.
There's a walk with 2 outs. To put it in perspective, they're only the 3rd team since 1908, joining the 95 Padres, the 18 Chicago Cubs, to go this deep into a season without a starter going longer than 6 innings. So we'll see how it plays out with Carlos. A 2-out walk, and here is Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso played at the University of Florida with one Harrison Bader. Second round pick in 2016. And among all major league rookies, he leads in home runs, runs batted in, and average. So he's off to a tremendous start. Mike Shildt saying that Bader is close to coming back and should be ready to go once he's off the injured list. Tyler O'Neill will probably go for at-bats in the minor leagues. Get him on track. Bader being a starter, Tyler not, and making sure they get the timing right.
Yeah, I believe Harrison said that he was maybe due to come off on Tuesday, so he thought he would be pretty close, if not ready by then, which is good news.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Pete Alonso, the check swing, and did not go. Two and two. Cardinals were thrilled with what they got out of Ryan Helsley last night. 22 pitches, a couple of innings. And Mike Shildt saying that that appearance really saved us in that game in terms of Adam not going deep. A couple innings out of Helsley. Bullpen ready to go today. And Helsley has been very impressive so far. The 2-2 pitch. DeYoung to his left. Nice play again. Shows off the arm. Two dandies from Paul DeYoung. He robbed Rosario on a backhanded play in the second, and this one to his left. Nicely done. 3-0 Cardinals. Love these are this date in Cardinals history, presented by the Lou Fuse Automotive Network. See him at Fuse.com. Cardinals signed an 18-year-old kid by the name of Carlos Martinez, who was a shortstop. The work of Moises Rodriguez back then in 2010, and Moises now the assistant GM. Here's Paul DeYoung. Speaking of shortstops, a couple of nice plays, but that wound up being an investment and a chance on a young Carlos Martinez that has paid off. How'd you like to see that arm deep in the hole?
I was just thinking of him hitting, actually. Maybe that's why he meant to the mound.
A lot of talk that Mets would not expect this right-hander Flexen to take another turn in the rotation. New York could look into Gio Gonzalez. He's expected to opt out of his minor league deal with the Yankees today. And the general manager of the Mets now, Brodie Van Wagenen, his former agency, represents Gio Gonzalez. They scouted him on Friday when he pitched in Buffalo. Dallas Keuchel is still on the market. Hanging breaking ball and extra bases for DeYoung. One for two on the day, and the Cardinal leadoff man is aboard this inning.
Hanging breaking ball, you said it, is up in his eyes. Good job by Paulie keeping it fair. It
brings in Ozuna. Well, last 6 games, the ERA of the rotation for the Mets is near 10. And with the issues with DeGrom, they had Vargas go last night. They're in search of some pitching. They don't feel they more than likely have it in the minor leagues. There's a strike to Ozuna, fly to center, first time up. There's Vargas, the starter last night, the left-hander. A ball and a strike on Marcell Ozuna. Just missed outside. DeYoung and Ozuna went 0 for 4 Friday night. DeYoung had been hitting .471 in the previous 9. He's now at second with a double. Ozuna 7 homers in the last 8 and driven in 13. Popped up and out of play in a souvenir here at Busch. Marcell fly to center, first time up.
Marcell looks like a different hitter from spring training to now.
What are you seeing?
It just it's amazing just to see that bat speed and staying back and the results, I guess.
Results have been there.
Results weren't there in spring training. He was starting to lose his mind a little bit. But the credit to him, he just kept working and working and working.
The 2-2. I know you were working with him a lot in spring training, and we had this camera angle from the side, and you would see just how off balance he was from our camera down in that first base dugout. The 2-2. Highly motivated free agent to be.
You would think, right?
You bet. The 3-2 pitch to Marcell Ozuna. Draws a walk. And DeYoung better hurry up. Back at second and safe. And Cano saying, let's take a look at it. The umpire may have been out of position to make that call and blocked by Cano.
Be interested to see the replay here. I didn't even think it was close. Robbie must have made a sweet tag. It's amazing. You see the middle infielders with some really good hands like that right there. Makes huge difference in plays.
Apparently the Mets are not going to challenge. Well, think about
see right there.
Javi Baez in
That's
Chicago.
What I mean. It makes it's the first person I thought of, but just remember JT Snow at first base being able to wait till the ball got on top of the bag and just he wouldn't even catch the ball and bring it back to him. He'd just slap the ball down on the hand, and he would get away with that so much. He was so quick. It makes plays so much closer. See a couple times, you know, when you watch those replays, and the guy will go out for the ball and then he'll have to come all the way back, and you thought the throw beats the guy to the bag, but the player had to go reach for the ball instead of letting it travel. The ball obviously moving faster than the runner. You can just wait for that ball and just slap the tag straight down. It's so much quicker.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Martinez this season 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And the 1-1 pitch. Base hit into center field again. Off the bat of Martinez. DeYoung waved in. Throw cut off. 4-0 Cardinals. Jose is 2 for 2.
Nice piece of hitting again. Just staying on the ball, head down, hit the ball up the middle. Great job of running the bases by both guys. Paul DeJong scoring. Marcell Ozuna ends up at third, and now with nobody out.
Jimmy, we talked about the base running last night. There are going to be times where, you know, for any team, bad base running, it looks ugly, it sticks out. There's a stat, though, called extra base taken percentage. And that is the times the runner advanced more than one base on a single or more than two bases on a double when possible. And what we're seeing is the Cardinals' aggressiveness going first to third. That has completely changed under Mike Schilt. They've done that third most in the league. And that percentage I'm talking about is 41%. It's slightly above average, but it is way better than it was a year ago. It's night and day. But the point being is that this is a more aggressive base running team, and it's been a lot better.
Yeah, and every 90 feet counts. Anytime you get a guy in scoring position, get a guy to third. Last night they struggled getting the runner in from third base, but the more times you get that guy over to third, the more chances you have to score, the better off you're going to be. Obviously no brainer, but only chance to get there is with some effort on base hits.
Paul Sewald, a right-hander, throwing in the pen. But that was a point of emphasis. Two things right off the bat when Mike took over last year. One game prior to the All-Star break, there's Sewald. He said, we've got to get better defensively, and our base running has to improve. And now with his first spring training, it has. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. "17 pitches in this inning alone, and no outs recorded." Number 55 on the day coming up. And that's it out of play. Yadi singled to right on an 0-2 pitch and scored back in that 3-run second inning. And again, a check on Martinez. Two balls, one strike on Yadier Molina. And checking in on one of the great base stealing threats in the history of the game, Jose Martinez, yet again.
With the huge lead.
About 2-step lead.
Half a step off the base.
But doesn't that tell you as a hitter he doesn't want to bring it to you a little bit?
Well, you know what? The one thing too is that's coming from the bench a little bit. And I don't know why you would be throwing over there with Martinez at first, but
maybe buying time for the reliever as well.
Yeah, that would be the first thing I'd think about. Martinez takes a step and a dive. He's going to be past the back. He's so close to first.
And Yadi sends a fly ball out to right center. Runner at third will tag Ozuna. He'll score easily. RBI for Yadier Molina, his 10th. Scoring Marcell Ozuna to make it 5-0.
He did one of those last night.
Big time.
That's what I'm talking about too. I was talking about that last night where you're just trying to stay inside the ball, get the ball in the air. Doesn't even have to be that deep. Just try to get the run in no matter what.
And now Dexter Fowler. 5-0 Cardinals. Way out in front. Fowler grounded out to second, first time up. And the 0-1. Fly ball to left. Catch made by Jeff McNeil. Martinez back to the bag. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Bought enough food for the entire section? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
With Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Erica Weston with us. Here's Colton Wong. Intentionally walked back in the second. That would load up the bases with Michaelis at the plate. Then it was a pass ball, run scored. And Miles delivered a single. It scored 2. Ten pitches in the first for this right-hander, 27 last inning and 23 this inning. And Wong hits it out to center, and the catch is made. Cardinals pick up 2 more. They have a 5-0 lead. Top of the 4th, 5-0 Cardinals. And there's a look at Jose Martinez. He's 2 for 2, runs scored, RBI, and we check in with Erica.
Well, guys, it's usually Jose coming in well-timed situations off the bench and delivering. He's a career .300 hitter with runners in scoring position, but now in as an everyday starter because of injuries. He's certainly making the most of his opportunities. Mike Schull telling me this morning that being able to drive in runs is important because some guys have more of a knack in doing it than others. We talk about being a professional hitter, but also a smart hitter, Jose is. So he understands the situation, like last night, a nice crisp single to give us a chance to win the ball game. So it's just understanding what kind of approach he needs to have consistency, and so far he is doing his job, guys.
He's so good off the bench, late innings, some of the toughest pitchers in the game. A tough pinch hitter. And when he plays as a regular, thank you, Erica, he continues to put up numbers.
Does such a nice job. You talk about like just plate coverage and swing the bat, momentum. He's always in a good mood. He's always putting good at bats up. And yeah, when you do that consistently, which is so hard to do, you have success. And man, he's been showing us that he can do that night in and night out.
There's Robbie Cano, named after Jackie Robinson. Robinson Cano. And the 0-1 pitch. A base hit. 1 for 2 on the day, and the first hit allowed by Michaelis. Came in first time through a lineup. Opponents batting above .300 against him. First time through here today, no hits allowed. And that's the first base hit by the Mets.
Pulling his hands in, and he can hit.
And it brings in Michael Conforto, the 10th overall pick back in 2014. He struck out looking, his first time up. It was Martinez and Michaelis, Paul Goldschmidt, all getting contract extensions during spring training. We saw Matt Carpenter a couple of weeks ago. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 1. Easter Sunday tomorrow, and Dakota Hudson against Noah Syndergaard. We're on the air at 12:30 tomorrow. The 2-1 pitch popped up, going out to Young, looking for help, and he'll make the play himself. Nurses Appreciation Day returns in 2019. Day and night option for everyone working shifts. That's what you're going to take home, a exclusive Cardinals scrub top.
You look good in that.
You too. Portion of each ticket sold will be donated to March of Dimes. Visit Cardinals.com/theme for tickets. And Scrub Top. Wilson Ramos. He was an all-star back in 2016 with the Washington Nationals. Signed as a free agent.
The big cat.
Well, for folks that didn't see it last night, Andres Galarraga, you think he's got a little bit of that style?
Oh yeah. And now he's got a bruise in the ribs.
You know, Galarraga spent one season with the Cardinals, and Don Baylor was the hitting coach at that point and opened up Galarraga and opened up his stance completely. Remember how how open he got? He wasn't like that early in his career in Montreal. Very similar to what you see here with Ramos. And then when Baylor became the manager in Colorado, he said, go get that guy. Wong to his left. Nice play. Spinning. It takes a hit away from Wilson Ramos. And the defense has been outstanding along the infield behind Michaelis today.
He went a long way for this ball. How far he goes for this baseball right here. Nice play, Colton Wong. He's up the middle. Like he took about 20-25 steps after that baseball and then still staying in the infield.
And the ability to know that you can throw it in the dirt, throw it wide, put it in the vicinity of first base, it's going to be caught. Mike Schilt was asked about Paul Goldschmidt today, and he said, the thing about Goldschmidt, whether he's going good or going poorly, comes to the ballpark and works. And with that, he said, other teammates are seeing what he does. And he said, now, don't get me wrong, you're paid, and he's paid handsomely to hit. But the little things that he brings to our team cannot be unnoticed. And a lot of it is his work ethic and what he does around the bag defensively and base running.
But he's got input. I like. He wants to share with the things that he knows that work for him and have worked in other places, and he's not afraid to kind of point it out.
And a fly ball into right field. Martinez with the catch. So no damage done after the leadoff single by Cano. He's left stranded. 5-0 Midway. Blues back in action tonight. Can they wrap up the series? Tonight at 5:30, you can see the pregame show on Fox Sports Midwest. The remarkable comeback the other night in Winnipeg, stunning the fan base of the Jets, but not that guy right there.
Oh, who was that?
That's when you really stick out in a crowd.
Go
Everybody's wearing the
Blues.
white, and he's got the Blues jersey on, the sweater. And there's a strike to Miles Michaelis. It's going to be a madhouse down here in downtown St. Louis. And Michaelis sends it into shallow right center for the out. 1 for 2 with a couple of runs batted in today. First out here in the home half of the fourth.
I love this time of the year. It's the beginning and the end of the season when the football season's going. Playoff run for baseball and vice versa at the beginning of the year with the postseason for the hockey and the beginning of the season for baseball. I love the double dips on the weekend. The people just stay downtown and go for it.
I don't know if you saw the stadium renderings for MLS that came out today. They are beautiful. So you're going to have a chance to maybe at some point in some springs in the future you have a Blues hockey game or a playoff game, the Cardinals playing, and then MLS.
Threefer.
Yeah, it's fun.
My son is excited about that.
Me too.
Be fun.
2 balls and no strikes. Carpenter is walked and flied to left. And the 2-0 pitch. Strike, now 2-1. The passion of the Blues fan base. It's incredible. Through thick and thin. There's been some tough moments in Blues playoff history. Carpenter serving it out to shallow left, sinking and dropping. Perfectly placed in shallow left.
Gotta love these hits right here. Fooled on the changeup, stayed back, just threw his hands at the ball, and sometimes you hit that ball just a little too hard, or the left fielder is playing a little bit more shallow, that might be an out, but gotta take that when you can get it.
Goldschmidt about due. Twice he has flied out today. Once to center, the other to right. Average at .231. He's popped 7 home runs, driven in 12. You find it unique how Paul holds the bat with his stance and getting ready for the pitch.
Yeah, it's interesting that he puts the bat way over his shoulder. It's almost to straighten him out a little bit, straighten up his back, but then you can see when he's getting ready, he does get it back up.
One ball and one strike. You can do everything you want, but at some point you got to get it in the hitting position.
Yep.
Craig Counsell had one of the oddest stances you'll ever see. That was weird.
Actually, when you said this about Goldsmith, I was thinking of Craig Counsell.
Ground ball. Out at second. The turn by Cano on a high throw and still made it close. Goldschmidt hustling down the line and avoids a double play. Well, if you're the Mets and you got Chris Flexen on the mound trailing by 5, boy, you need this one to be turned.
It's a slow developing play. Took too long for the third baseman to get it and get it over there.
Here's DeYoung. 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Strike 1. One ball and one strike. One and 2 the count on DeYoung. Made a couple of good plays defensively. One on a backhand and the other one up the middle this ball game today. And the 1-2 pitch. Two and 2. If DeYoung can reach, Ozuna would come up and a chance to do some damage here. The next to the Cardinals shortstop. Popped up. Alonso giving it a look, and it's out of play. Big gap in left center. And the 2-2 again to Paul DeYoung. And again a souvenir.
It's that hanging breaking ball right there. Doesn't really snap it off with 2 strikes. Kind of still throws it for a strike. And that's the one at this level usually gets smashed. But you'd probably like to have that pitch back.
The 2-2 on the ground. Rosario force play at second to Cano. We head to the 5th. 5-0 St. Louis. Budweiser, what's on tap? Noah Syndergaard and Dakota Hudson. Pre-game show at 12:30. And our Budweiser, what's on tap? Well, today it's Miles Michaelis. Inning number 5 rolls in. You get a hot dog here at the ballpark. Peanuts, popcorn, the Cracker Jack, the ice cream. Big crowd on this Saturday afternoon. Ahmed Rosario grounded out to short. Really good play by DeYoung. Took away a hit. And he lines that foul. Old buddy Keith Hernandez back in town with the Mets and working on their telecast. The 1979 co-MVP. He was an 11-time Gold Glove winner. That's most ever for anybody that's played first base. Keith Hernandez. There he is with Gary Cohen. Keith, a 5-time All-Star, member of that 1982 championship club, and the 86 Mets. The ball that went through Bill Buckner's legs. Asked him about it the other day. I said, now where were you?
Jumping up and down.
Well, he said, I was in the Mets clubhouse, and some of the highlights of Keith Hernandez in his 10 years in St. Louis. What a player. And you consider what he did offensively. His offensive WAR, wins above replacement, 46.3. That's 14th best among all first basemen in the last 50 years. Not great, but really solid when you mix in the defense. And he was the best. And there are many that believe he's the best defensive first baseman that ever played the game.
It's quite a compliment.
And a fly ball into shallow right. Willie McGee said that the other night talking about Keith. He said, I've never seen a guy race down the first base line on a bunt better than Keith Hernandez and getting the lead man. I mean, he was incredible in that regard. And there's Willie, those two teammates in '82. But he said in '86, I went to the clubhouse, thought the game was over, and I sat in one chair and we started getting hit after hit after hit. And he said, I'm not leaving. And Kevin Mitchell, he said, was, and there's a base hit by Flexen, the pitcher. Kevin Mitchell got a key hit. He said basically he was still trying to get dressed, and they had to come get him in the clubhouse and remind him he was coming up. And then the first pitch, he gets a base hit. Calvin Schiraldi was on the mound. Roger Clemens made the start. And he said, you know, we thought it was over, and obviously the rest is history. One of the most famous plays in baseball history, and he was on one of the best infields in the history of the Cardinals. One Ozzie Smith at shortstop. That pitch taken just a bit low. And the 1-0 pitch to Brandon Nimmo. And Keith, whether it's this year or next year, you got to figure he's headed to the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Take a hard look at those 10 years in St. Louis, and he was some kind of player. And it's in the air out to center field. There's Dexter Fowler with the catch. Back in town, Keith Hernandez. He wore 37. He idolized Mickey Mantle. He said, I can't wear number 7, so he got 37 here in St. Louis. Don't miss a Budweiser Bash. That'll be Tuesday, the 23rd of April. Budweiser Terrace, and it features Fernando Tatis. Get a theme ticket, receive a Fernando Tatis bobblehead by a VIP theme ticket. You'll also gain access to his pregame autograph session. Cardinals.com/BudBash, and you see the 2 baseballs being hit on that bobblehead from Tatis. That is 20 years to the day that Fernando had the 2 grand slams in 1 inning against Chano Park and the Doyer.
20 years already.
By the way, his son is a player.
Oh yeah, he is.
Wow.
That is awesome to see too.
Starting shortstop for San Diego. Here's Marcell Ozuna. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 5-0 our score. And Ozuna today flied to center and also walked and scored. Luis Avilan, the lefty, throwing in the Mets bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another lefty is Wilson. We saw him last night. And the 1-1. Cardinals wrap up the series with Mets on Sunday, and then the Brewers here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Dropping to a knee, Marcell Ozuna.
Changeup. Changeup?
Adrian Beltre style.
Yeah, changeup. Like I said, you don't see a lot of changeups. Righty, righty, lefty, lefty. And tough pitch to hit. The ball's coming down into you slower. It's tough to pull the bat around fast enough. I mean, you're going to hit it into your own shin.
3-2 pitch to Ozuna. And he'll draw a leadoff walk. And with Jose Martinez coming up, Kubota Power Stats this season at home. Big numbers came in hitting .474. Home run, 3 runs batted in. He's added to that today. His career average .323. He's 2 for 2 this afternoon. That's the 4th walk issued by Flexen. I've asked Jose, why do you think it took so long to get to the big leagues? He always hit in the minor leagues, and he did have severe knee injury. He thought that was one problem, but he also felt as he was getting older, he was getting blocked. In Kansas City, he had Eric Hosmer the year that Martinez won a AAA batting championship and did not get called up.
That's unbelievable. I remember that, thinking to myself, what? How's that even possible? They not even reward someone for doing that well.
In 2015, he won that title, and that was the year that the Royals won the World Championship. Ozuna standing up at second base. He almost did that on the first pitch to Jose Martinez.
Maybe that's why they were picking over all those times with guys that weren't going to run.
Well, all they had to do is step off and throw.
Yeah, they know that those guys run like that every now and then to get a good jump and see if they can't break concentration.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Martinez. Up the middle, off the pitcher, Flexen, and he makes the play, and that takes a hit away from Martinez and probably a run batted in as well as Flexen waves off medical team of the Mets and says he's all right. Another bullet up the middle. I think it got him in the back, and I'm not sure it got him on the rump.
Oh,
ooh,
right
small of the back.
That's going to hurt tomorrow. Oof.
So it puts Ozuna at third, and now Yadier Molina with one down. Infield in for the Mets. Ground ball, and with the infield in, it finds a hole. 6-0 Cardinals. And Yadi, he's 2 for 3, and he's driven in 2.
Not really sure what this pitch is right here. A little cutter, a little backup cutter slider, and just stayed in the zone. And Yadi's trying to put the ball in play. It looks like that's what I like. Try to get it over with, right? Try to put a ball in play right there. Try not to do too much and get rewarded.
Avalon coming in. Relief of Flexen. All Cardinals here in game 2. It's 6. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Spring flowers and the camera of Tony West at Forest Park. Luis Avilon. So they'll turn around Dexter Fowler, and there's strike 1. Fowler 0 for 2, grounded out to second, also flied to left. One of your favorites celebrating a birthday, Jimmy. Don Mattingly.
Nice.
Donnie Baseball. They've had their issues down in Miami, which most expected. They are 5-15. They fired their hitting coach, Pagliarulo, after the game last night.
They had a good spring training too.
2-2. Luis Avilon made his debut in 2012. And very tough on lefties. 2-2. Lefties hit just .212 against him in his career. And he has a lefty on deck. Colton Wong. And a ground ball out at second. The turn, and not in time as Fowler gets down the line. Mentioned this a couple of days ago, but how much better Fowler is moving, and Mike Schill pointed to that this afternoon, talking about Dexter playing center field. He said a byproduct of that is then getting his work in before games. The jumps that we're seeing, he pointed to a ball that he got to last night, got a good jump on it, but running well. So 2 outs and a runner at first, and Colton Wong.
I think it's all about having that energy level, right? It makes a big difference. Having a positive year so far and everything going in the up direction, and I think it carries over to defense. It's tough when you're going out there every night not getting hits and reading about yourself in the paper the next morning and everyone's down on you. It makes it tough to play every day.
Did you read the paper when you played?
Not often. The thing I didn't like about when in my era when I played is, I probably still do it, hopefully not, but they would always bring down the like a bunch of sheets with all of the articles copied off, and they would be floating around the clubhouse. I thought that was just unnecessary, especially if you were struggling. I mean, just in general, like go into the lunchroom and there was 20 pages of newspaper articles from all over the country.
Soft grounder to Cano off the bat of Wong. And Avalon gets the final out here in the home half of the 5th. Yadier Molina is driven in 2 today, and a couple of base hits. All right, Jimmy, thank you. 6-0 our score. Flexen, the starter for the Mets, has been knocked out. Cano 1 for 2. Miles Michaelis 5 innings. Only 2 hits allowed, and Molina has driven in a couple of runs, couple of base hits. And it brings in Alonso, Cano, and Conforto. Pete Alonso is 0 for 2. And a first pitch strike. A second round selection in 2016. Guys like Nemo, Alonso, Conforto, McNeil, all developed and drafted by the Mets. Ground ball. And Carpenter makes the play for the first out. And it brings in Cano. 1 for 2. Grounded out to second. Also a single to center field. Mets came into the ball game today tied in the East. First place with the Phillies 11-8. The Cardinals are 10-9 and 2 games back of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 11-6. And a grounder that's foul. Beautiful day here at Busch Stadium. Easter Sunday tomorrow. Still some good seats available. Come on down. Are your kids ready for the Easter Bunny?
I'm sure they are. Candy, right? Who's not ready for the candy bunny?
Question is, are you ready for it?
No. Nope.
There's the second out, and it brings in Conforto, who is 0 for 2. He struck out looking and also popped out to short. Conforto, the 10th overall pick in 2014. Well, Miles has done a nice job against the lefties today. That was a struggle for him. Begin this season and come into this start today. And again, a first pitch strike. This is what we're used to seeing from a year ago.
Been throwing a lot of strikes today. His breaking ball's been better. He's been up and down in the strike zone.
And the 0-1. He's had 16 of 22 first pitch strikes. Pitch count at 75 and trying to make it a quick 6th inning. And a fly ball out to left. Ozuna going back near the wall, and he's got it. He didn't have to scale the wall. This time he makes the catch on the track. Nice play, Marcell Ozuna in left field. May 25th, Busch Stadium hosts the 15th annual Purina Pooches in the Ballpark Day. Come on downtown, enjoy a ball game with man's best friend beside you. A limited number of tickets on sale. Cardinals.com/pooches. Is that Landon out there right there? Your son?
Yeah. He turned him loose in the ballpark.
And he got a souvenir too, didn't he?
He got a baseball tossed up to him from one of the guys in the Mets bullpen. He's making friends. Look at.
And the 0-1 pitch to Miles Michaelis, 0-2.
He's I don't know what it is. He was all of a sudden obsessed with baseball. Like he's getting to that age and he's obsessed with the baseballs and the difference. He's trying to figure out why these baseballs are so much harder than the ones that he gets to play with. So he's like collecting them a little bit. And he said his strategy was to get a baseball was to walk out by their bullpen.
And it worked.
He's got a ball. Can't really see him, but that's him back there. There he is.
And the 2-2 pitch to Michaelis. On a strikeout. He had a key hit in this game back in the second inning with 2 outs. A single to center that brought in 2. That's the first Cardinal strikeout in their lineup today. It's something the Cardinals have been much better at. Beginning of the year, a lot of strikeouts, especially in that first series. Here's Carpenter, who singled to left back in the 4th. He's walked and also flied to left. Well, by putting that bunt down last night, it does change the defense here in the setup of the Mets. Still a shift, but yet the left side has got to be protected somewhat because of the potential of a bunt. Here's the 0-1.
What I thought was interesting last night was that they got ahead of him, so thinking that he was going to, as you look at the spray chart.
StatCast AI powered by AWS.
It is. But they moved back literally right before that pitch, and he went and laid the bunt down. I think it was a 2-1 pitch that went to 3-1, so they figured, oh, he's not going to bunt 3-1. He's going to try to rip. And as soon as the guy got back into the position about the shortstop, he just laid down a bunt. It's perfect.
2 balls and a strike. Inside, 3-1.
I think the best thing about that was now as a visiting manager, you have to decide, do you want to let him bunt or give him an opportunity to bunt or not? It was in this situation right here, except for he backed up a lot more in a 3-1 count.
And that's what we have here. 3-1. 3-2. Well, he's got that high on base percentage historically from the leadoff spot. And you think about how good he might be as a number 3 hitter, number 5 hitter. Ouch. That'll hurt.
Yeah.
May have got his knee. That was not off his foot, I don't believe.
It was off his back leg too, I think.
Oh man.
It's like being hit with a hammer.
Off the back leg of Carpenter. 3-2 the count with 1 out. And takes a pitch inside and draws the 1-out walk. And now a quick word from the Missouri Air National Guard.
Missouri Air National Guard. For more, visit goang.com/mo.
Here's Goldschmidt 0 for 3 today. So 1 out, a runner at first, and a 6-0 Cardinal lead. This is the 4th time the lineup has turned over for the Cardinals, and there's a strike. Flip side, Miles Michaelis has allowed just 2 hits. The Cardinals have 7 hits and the 6-run cushion. A ball and a strike.
A couple of changeups right there to Paul. And so I was talking to Keith Hernandez today, and he said to me, "Can you believe this is turning into a breaking ball league?" Just kind of in passing, and he's right. There's a lot of off speed. We're talking about last night with the lefty 2-0 changeups, 3-0, 3-1 changeups. Something like that back in the day.
That's what Rick Ankiel has talked about in coming back. He said, "Hey, I still have my curveball, and this is a breaking ball league now." And the 1-2 outside evens it up. Aaron Judge has left the Yankee game, left oblique injury, and he will undergo an MRI, and those are always tricky situations. He had homered earlier in their game. And a strikeout of Goldschmidt. Hitless today. And it brings in Paul DeYoung. 2 strikeouts for Avilan. Doubled and scored back in the 3rd. That's out of play.
It's like Paul's trying to make an effort to hit the ball to right center field today. He's had a couple pitches to hit that he's really stayed inside. He's hit a few more fastballs, but a few more foul balls over to the right field side of the stadium than he normally does. Sometimes he makes a conscious effort to stay inside the ball, and rightfully so with a guy like this pitching, but it's pretty tough to do. Stay out there and talk about stay with a game plan and try to stay up the middle. Hard not to get in there and get in the heat of the moment and change your thought process when a guy throws you a fastball in or something that you think you can really hit. Tries to stay. He's pretty sound in what he tries to do.
And DeYoung shoots it in the gap in right center, just like that, all the way to the wall. Carpenter being waved in. No throw. He'll score. DeYoung makes it 7-0 Cardinals, with Carpenter limping a bit around the bag.
Exactly what he did not need. Nice job by Paul DeYoung right here. Like we were talking about, trying to stay up the middle. It's a pitch to hit. Carpenter struggling around the bases.
This would be a double switch for Mickey Callaway. Right-hander coming in. We'll tell you about the changes. DeYoung has 22 career hits now. Jacob Rame in our Chevy called to the pen, part of the double switch. McNeil comes in from left, takes over at second base for Cano. Broxton in left, and Rame the new pitcher, so Broxton will go into the 9th position in the lineup. And the pitcher Rame into the spot occupied by Cano. Here's Marcell Ozuna. I don't think it would surprise anybody to see maybe Matt Carpenter get out of this game, get some treatment right away. It's 7-0 lead here, starting to get late.
Yeah, definitely. I would think that Cart might have had his last trip around the bases today. It's one thing to get hit, shake it off, run around the bases, but another thing to have to go first to home and then limp the whole way in a 7-0 game. So wouldn't be surprised.
Mentioned going to break. That's now 22 career hits for DeYoung against the Mets in a short amount of time. 16 of the 22 have gone for extra bases. 2 more doubles today. Here's the 0-2. And he just got a piece. Ozuna this afternoon fly to center and a pair of walks. You don't see him walk very often, and he's got 2 today and 2 runs scored. Also made a nice play in left. Broke his bat. Stays 0-2.
Right off the cup.
Yep. Talked about it last night. The top of those bats.
Cue ball.
What was the size of the bat you used? How long?
34, 32. Cupped. He switched though. Now he's not a bat without the cup.
0-2 pitch. Did you notice that as the season went on that guys would maybe go to lighter bats?
Yeah, I tried it. I mean, you know what I did is I was so kind of on top of that with my bats. I could tell when some were lighter than others, and then I would actually weigh them, and then I would put the lighter ones in the corner and mark them, and then I would just bring them out as save them for the end of the season. Even if it's a ½ ounce, it makes all the difference in the world. Sometimes you'll order 34, 32, and they'll come 32.4, 32.2, and then sometimes they'll be 31 point whatever, you know, a little bit more. So I would just kind of mark a minus and a plus on them.
And you could feel that difference.
Oh, you could tell. You could pick up bats and be like, oh, this one feels heavy, and then weigh it and see that it was a little different.
Ooh, he just missed that pitch. Hits it out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arizona leading Chicago in the top of the 6th, 4-0. Cubs are 9-9 this year. The 2-2. It's amazing, just an ounce or two, the difference that it can make.
It really does. And you know what, I think mostly it's as much mental as it is just being able to feel it, because you mentally can change. Sometimes will change your swing, or you know it's heavy, might start earlier. I found sometimes when I used a lighter bat, I would try to do too much, knowing that I could whip it a little bit more and start swinging a little too hard. Funny thing about the bats with lighter and heavier is the bats that are heavier, I mean, I think it'd be pretty obvious, but better wood, the ball travels farther. So you start to get lighter bats, and then the ball doesn't bounce off the bat as well. Lose a little bit of power.
It's a 3rd walk for Marcell Ozuna. Extends the inning to Jose Martinez. Runners at 1st and 2nd.
I mean, I'm sure you understand this and know this and seen it, but for people at home don't realize that the bat game is unbelievable. It's like trying to find a nice pair of shoes that fit. It's like the obsession with getting the right bat, the way it feels, the grains, the color, the pine tar right, just whatever it is, the good feel. It is everything.
Drilled into left center field. Jose Martinez will drive in 2. On his way to second base and extends this big Cardinal lead. What a day for Jose Martinez. His 3rd hit of the afternoon. Nissan drive of the game off the bat of Jose Martinez.
Just a good swing right there. Line drive off the wall. Locked in.
It's coming after the third walk by Ozuna. Done that twice in his career to have a 3-walk game. Here's Yadier Molina with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Well, for many fans coming down, taking in baseball. And then headed up market to Enterprise Center. Pre-game show at 5:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's an 0-2. Puts it in play. Back to Rame, and he'll step and throw. The Cardinals add to their lead. The double off the bat of Martinez that scores 2. 3 more runs tacked on. 9-0. Here, difference maker. Jimmy, take it away.
Miles Michaelis today, 6 innings so far, 2 hits, 0 runs, only 2 walks and 3 strikes. But a lot of 3 strikeouts, a lot of strikes today. Getting ahead, making his pitches and keeping the Mets off balance.
54 strikes. The 76 pitches by Michaelis. Jed Jerko, the new third baseman for the Cardinals. Carpenter out. This might be one of those games that you'll see Molina either finish on the bench or at first base. How deep will the Cardinals go with Michaelis at 76 pitches? And another first pitch strike. Wilson Ramos at the plate. So 17 of 23 first pitch strikes. And a ground ball taken by Goldschmidt for the out. Miles has only allowed 2 hits in this ball game. And with that ground out, the longest start of the year now by a Cardinal starter, getting 1 out here in the 7th.
You know, sometimes we jinx players and teams, and sometimes we make things happen.
You don't buy into that, do you? So 6 1/3 and counting now for Miles Michaelis. Head pitchers get into the 7th, just could not get an out. And another first pitch strike. Jeff McNeil has walked and also flied to right.
Every out's a record right now.
Out of play. Trying to pick up his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. The 0-2 pitch. And it's going to be in the hole. Tough play. DeYoung off balance and not in time. He's playing up the middle and still got to that ball.
Still a heck of a play. And wasn't a speedy runner. He has a chance.
Infield defense outstanding here this afternoon. That was the first of 2 very fine plays by Paul DeYoung. Mix in one from Colton Wong as well. Middle infield, that combination, only 1 error this season. And a fly ball off the bat of Rosario into the gap in right center. One hops off the wall. Rosario on his way to third, but the throw to the plate not in time. So the Mets get on the board, and that makes it 9-1. A triple, RBI number 13 this season for Ahmed Rosario.
piece of hitting by Rosario. Hits it into no man's land too. That out there in right center field is so big. Nobody to get there and flying around the bases for a triple. He was running, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He almost caught up with McNeil. There was no hesitation.
Moving.
Going around the bag at second, and now J.D. Davis. Mets picked him up in the offseason in a trade with Houston. It was back in early January. He's grounded back to Michaelis and also flied to right. 0 for 2 today. Well, there's stretching in the Cardinal bullpen, but no one up and throwing yet. 0-1 pitch. Tied him up, 0-2. Cardinals get the bad news on Mike Myers yesterday. He's going to miss considerable time with a lat issue, at least a couple of months. Left the ball game the other night in Milwaukee. And the 0-2 pitch. That'll score a run. DeYoung across the diamond, makes it 9-2. Rosario scoring the Mets' second run of the day. Brings in Keon Broxton, former Milwaukee Brewer. Broxton part of the double switch as he took over and left. An even 200 the average, no homers. He's driven in 2. Get that late tight break. That's the pitch today that's been real sharp.
Yeah, its breaking ball has been a lot better today than it has earlier in the season. He's throwing a lot of curveballs across his body, and they were ending up over in the other batter's box.
Jerko, strike to Goldschmidt, and we stretch on this Saturday afternoon here in St. Louis. New catcher for the Mets, Travis d'Arnaud, takes over for Ramos. And this is our Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Fowler, Wong, and then Michaelis. His spot due up here in the bottom of the 7th. He's right around 90 pitches in this ball game and a 9-2 Cardinal lead. Matter of fact, 87 for Miles Michaelis on the day. And Fowler, a liner into right, and it's caught. There's one away. Brings in Colton Wong. They intentionally walked Colton back in the second inning to get to Michaelis. That was with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and a pass ball allowed Jose Martinez to score our first run. And then Michaelis a single that scored 2, and the Cardinals were off and running. And Miles is going to at least start top of the 8th inning. Nothing in 2 the count. Wong is also lined out to center, ground out to second. Two and two. He's got that different looking bat. That knob much different than most. Started using it in spring training, loved it.
Takes a little pressure off the hamate bone in the bottom of the hand down there.
More and more players are going to this, even those without any hand issues. And the studies they showed with that the exit velocity actually with those bats was better. It's a hickory bat that he's using. 3-2 from 0-2, and he walked him. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, guardians of childhood. So 1-out walk to Colton Wong, and here's Michaelis. The single, and 2 runs batted in the second, fly to center and struck out. All about comfort in there in that batter's box. Stances change, the equipment changes, but what are you comfortable with? Bunt by Michaelis in a 9-2 game to advance. Wong to second base. So Jerko batting for Carpenter took over at third base after Matt walked and scored all the way from first on a double from Paul DeYoung. Has not seen a lot of playing time. Interesting. 9-2 game and bunting in that spot. Some would not take kindly to that.
Hopefully stick around for the post game and get to hear maybe the explanation. I'm sure somebody will ask the question.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Popped up and foul and out of play. You see the timing of Jerko has just been a little bit off.
Missed quite a bit of time. Some guys have a tough time getting that timing back.
Ballpark Village packed today.
Hey everyone.
Those seats count in the attendance of 47,059 today. Largest crowd of the season, 47,059. Second sellout of the year. Well, you had to get here early if you're going to get a spot at Ballpark Village with the Blues game going on. That's a watch party over there, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will be filtering in there after this game is over.
Two and two the count. Wong, your runner at second base. Popped up again and out of play. And Jerko sends a fly ball out to center field. And that sends us to inning number 8. 9-2 St. Louis. All right, guys, thank you. 7+ for Miles Michaelis, longest start this season by any Cardinal starting pitcher. By the way, we will take you up until 5:30 tonight. Matt Wieters is the new catcher, Lane Thomas in center, but 5:30 is our pregame show for St. Louis Blues hockey. So a lot of baseball between now and then. 5:30, the Blues. Jose Martinez in left field, Fowler in right, and Lane Thomas in center. Brandon Nimmo. You worked a little bit with Lane in spring training. What'd you take away from Thomas in center?
I didn't get to see him a whole lot, but he was actually hurt a little bit at the beginning, but does a nice job. Just a, he reminds me a little bit of Paul DeJong. He's mild-mannered, pretty quiet. Just goes out there and does his job.
Fly ball into left center, and calling off Thomas, it's Jose Martinez.
Good thing too. That ball's in the sun right there.
Brings in Alonso, over 3 today. Popped out twice. He is grounded out to short. 0 for 3.
First fly ball in the big leagues goes in the sun. Thank you, Jose Martinez.
Seawald, the right-hander, throwing for the Mets, and the 0-1 pitch. Nobody throwing right now for the Cardinals in their bullpen. Pitch count at 92. And the 1-1. And Alonso, a foul ball. Apparently hit the bat, then hit him. Dominic Smith at the on-deck circle, and Mickey Callaway coming out to check on him with the medical team. Swung, and then it hit him in the hand, I believe. Sure did.
Sinker running in, tries to get out in front of it, and not a good feeling. Anytime that you get hit by a pitch and it's called a strike, not good.
Well, you can swing and still get hit by a pitch, and I'm sure that's what Mickey Callaway is trying to get an explanation for.
The umpire called it a foul ball.
Well, if you commit to swing and you do it and you're hit.
Yep.
Tough way to pick up the strike.
I was saying, if you get a strike against you and you got hit by the pitch, it's not a good at bat right there for you.
Paul Emmel, our home plate umpire, and also our crew chief. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next to Alonso, taken high. It kind of just a lazy afternoon here at the ballpark. Cardinals struck early, and since then Michaelis has settled in. The 2-2. Fowler backing up a few steps and makes the catch. And there's 2 away here in the top of the 8th. A reminder, good seats still available for the kids tomorrow, Easter Sunday. That day, kids ages 15 and younger take home a stadium exclusive Build-A-Bear Workshop bunny. Also get a free ticket voucher valid for a future game. That's courtesy of Prairie Farms. So Smith pinch hitting here. Used as a pinch hitter last night. And off to a good start, 9 for 21, and another first pitch strike. Miles Michaelis has one complete game. That was against the Royals last year here at Busch Stadium. And it's 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch taken high. Two and two. Just 4 hits allowed by Michaelis. And a swing and a miss. Michaelis threw 8. And that's his 4th strikeout of the day. Only 4 hits allowed, and the Cardinals enjoying this 9-2 lead. Michaelis talking it over with Chris Conroy, the Cardinals medical team, and will he go back out there? That looks like a guy that's probably done this afternoon. Now talking with Mike Maddox. We'll see. 9-2, the Cardinals with the lead. Here's Goldschmidt. Paul Sewald is the new pitcher in for New York. And ball 1. Goldschmidt, 2 flyouts, grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. Chevy called to the pen, right-hander for the Mets. 2-0. Giovanni Gallegos throwing in the Cardinals pen. Dominic Smith stays in the game at first base. Gallegos was up 3 different times in game 1, so looks like he's got the 9th. Giovanni pitched 1 inning, 16 pitches, but up 3 different times. 3-0 on Goldschmidt is a strike. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Holy smokes. Wow. He crushes it. Goldschmidt launched it into left center. And that is his 8th home run of the year. Man, oh man, oh man.
That's what you're supposed to do to a 3-1 pitch. Got himself ahead in the count, got a fastball right down the middle. And he hammers it. Ball almost went 3/4 of the way up the stands out there. Call a homer.
8th home run for Goldschmidt and his 13th run batted in. And now DeYoung hits one out to deep right center, but that'll stay in the ballpark. Catch made on the track. I'd have to say that's got to be one of the longest home runs that area of the ballpark, certainly this year. Busch Stadium 3 opened up in 06. It was 464 feet is what they're calling it. 464. It had a lot on it too, and it looked like it hit the stairs and then, or maybe the bleachers, then shot back up to where the crowd is standing out there.
Still going. Rolling down Clark Street.
Here's another home run hitter, Lane Thomas. He had a home run in last night's game. First ever major league at bat in an opposite field 2-run homer. Had to be reviewed. He's standing at third. He knows he's got his first major league hit. Turns into a home run. And a curtain call. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Most players home run in their first career at bat. The Cardinals with 10, and a lot of that has been done the last 15 years. That's hit out of play. And the 1-2 popped up. Smith with the catch. There's 2 away. Paul Goldschmidt, 464 feet, 109 the miles per hour, 27 degrees the launch angle to make it a 10-2 Cardinal lead.
Didn't expect for that ball to land where it landed. Did you?
No. Knew it was gone. He hit some mammoth home runs in spring training too. That's when you saw the power up close. There's Jose Martinez. He's had a big day. 3 hits. Driven in 3. 2 outs, nobody on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets will have Conforto, Darno, McNeil in the 9th. 1-2 the count. In the air to right field, and the catch is made. Paul Goldschmidt, long home run, number 8, tied with Ozuna, the team lead. It's now 10-2. Top of the 9th, and Jose Martinez. Big afternoon again for the Cardinals. 3:02. He's our Budweiser player of the game. 3 for 5, 2 singles, a double, runs scored, and 3 runs batted in. The season average now is up to 333. Budweiser player of the game. Could have gone to Miles Michaelis with his 8 very efficient innings that he had today, and they were efficient for the most part.
Co-player of the game.
Yeah.
Pitched a really good game today. Strikes were the key. Got ahead. Moved the ball around.
And
nice
23
job,
of 30 first pitch strikes, and now Gallegos. Here's Michael Conforto. 9th inning rolls in, 10-2 Cardinals. Cardinals have out hit the Mets 10-4. And we'll have game 3 for you tomorrow of this series. Blues hockey coming up later tonight, and we'll take you up until 5:30 in the Blues pregame show. And the 1-0 pitch. Conforto 0 for 3, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Gallegos is racking up the strikeouts. Done a nice job.
Fastball right there about 94, 93, and you could see the slider that he just threw was nasty.
In the air. Left field, and Martinez was over and nowhere near the baseball.
Where was he going? Maybe he was hoping it was going to carry a little bit further.
Well, he needed a gust of about an 80-mile-an-hour wind.
Hey, you got to give him A for effort. All we can ask is that you try.
That's right. One and 2 the count. And the next two, Conforto popped up. Jerko foul territory. And the catch. You see Jose basically the same spot he was in on the previous foul ball.
Running in and calling off Jed.
He is a character, man.
Yeah, he is. Keeping it loose.
So one away here in the ninth.
He was destroying me today when I was watching him with that mask on in the open. And concentration was losing it. Catcher's face mask with no helmet and hair sticking out all over the place.
So I told him, I said, that's to protect your movie star looks. And he agreed. He is a character, though, man. Fun to be around. Nothing in two, the count on Travis d'Arnaud. It's a fastball, then pops it foul. So again tomorrow it'll be Dakota Hudson and Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard 1-1. Hudson winless so far, 0-1. And the 0-2 pitch. Outside corner, struck him out.
Gallegos looks like he's got that little bit of quick release, gets it up there and lets it go. And a couple of the strikeouts I've noticed, the guys are not even really ready. The ball's crossing the plate. Sneaky, good velocity, a really good slider. That adds up to a few strikeouts that he's got.
This big crowd, 47,000 plus, that have stuck around. They're on their feet. 2 outs, nobody on. And this is Jeff McNeil. Ground ball to second. This will do it. Cardinals take game 2 by the final of 10-2. Again, we'll be with you until 5:30 tonight on Fox Sports Midwest with baseball. Then Blues pregame at 5:30. Cardinals did their thing. Will the Blues later tonight? Let's hope. Postgame next.